Hello everybody, welcome back to another election video. This time we're going to be looking at can Diane Osborn win the 2024 Nebraska Senate race. So in my best case scenario for Democrats prediction, I had this as a lean R race. Honestly, I think in a best case scenario, Osborn can win now. Just looking at the new data and how he's running his campaign, he's running a very populist campaign. His ads are honestly really good. I've seen them and they're pretty convincing, honestly. So he's running a pretty stellar campaign in an R plus 19 state. The thing is, how is his path to victory going to happen here? Because right now, I think it's still likely a Republican race. He only wins in a best case scenario. But we just have to take a look at the polling out of this race. And Deb Fischer, she's struggling a bit. Even in Republican internal, she was down by 6 points. In Dan Osborn's internals, he's actually starting to lead and even hit 50% in one of these polls right here. So Osborn, honestly, in his internal polling, he's surging. And he's already in the lead in the actual average here. So Nebraska is a state to keep an eye on for the Senate race, honestly. He could have a chance here in such a very red state. And that's because he's running a really centrist campaign, but at the same time a populist one. So him being center right in some issues and center left on other issues, that's working out for him in this very red state. But again, we haven't seen a real independent poll out of this race that wasn't commissioned by him. Because look, poll sponsored by centrist group, sponsored by him, or it was a poll done by Fischer. But even the poll done by Fischer shows she's in some trouble here. But those undecideds is the key thing to look at, because they're more likely to break for the incumbent senator in this race. Typically, that's how it goes. So we got to keep an eye on that. In terms of fundraising, he is getting a lot of money, but Fischer still has that advantage over him. So we look at the 2020 election in Nebraska, and we could try to build a map for how he can win. And I worked on I forgot what the map was, but it allowed me to shift counties from 2020, like just based on margins wise. I think it was like an electoral shifter or something like that. But I was trying to build a map for him to win. It's honestly kind of hard to see how he could win. He's going to have to do really well in these rural counties. He's going to have to do amazing in the suburbs to really have a shot here. And he's going to have to flip a few counties. So let's head to the county map here. So which counties is he going to have to do better? And he's going to have to do better, obviously, in Omaha. He needs to get that solid. He needs to do better in this county right down here. I forgot the name of it. I bet it would show it in the results. It's either, I think it would probably be Lancaster County, I believe. It's either Lancaster or Douglas. Actually, I think Douglas is the Omaha County, just because it has a lot more people. Lancaster has a lot less. It's definitely Lancaster County. So he's going to have to do really well in Lancaster County. He's going to have to do really well in the Omaha area. So he's going to have to do amazing in the Nebraska 2nd area and the Nebraska's 1st district area. And he's going to have to do well in Nebraska's 3rd, which is the rural parts here. He's going to have to get those rural margins down. So he also needs to win these 2 counties as well to have a shot, do amazing in Omaha, win this county probably by a pretty solid margin of over 10. He's going to have to do that. He's also going to have to get these neighboring counties around Omaha down to likely Republican margins. He might even need to win one of these neighboring exurban counties here to actually have a shot. So he needs to get these vote totals down because it really hurts just any candidate running against a Republican. Just these rural counties always come out against him here. So he's going to have to get those exurban counties down. He's going to have to do well in Nebraska's 1st district to honestly have a shot. So we're probably going to have to see like reductions in that margin all across here. But his main focus should just be on the Omaha County, Lancaster. He's just going to have to get the margins down basically everywhere, just neighboring here, because there's typically exurban counties out here. So he's going to have to get them all down to decent margins here. But he's going to have to win at least these 5 counties here that have marked in purple. That's the only way he has a shot. If he loses any of these, it's pretty much lights out for him. I just don't see how he could win the Senate race without winning at least these 5 and getting the margins down pretty much everywhere. That's the real difficult part for him, is just trying to compete against a Republican in a very red state here. Again, Trump won it nearly by 20, so it was about a 19-point margin here. So he's really going to have to run up the score in Omaha and Nebraska's first district to really have a shot. So he needs to win those two districts, and he needs to get the margin down in this rural district right here. But I don't think, I still would put it as likely R. It's a lot of his internal polls. So internal polling usually just gives your own person you're polling for a big boost. So in reality, I think Fisher's probably going to win this race by about 8% if I were to put a margin on it right now. But Osborn could win. That's definitely possible. But he's going to have to get a map something like this where he just runs up the margins of the suburban counties here while offsetting the margins of the rural parts of this state. But I think this strategy for Democrats of running independents in ruby red states, I think it's actually a good one for them going forward. Because again, the Democratic Party in red states like this one are just, it's too unpopular to win statewide. But overall, what it would place Dan Osborn's chances at winning, I'd give him at least a 20% chance. Again, we haven't gotten into independent polling out of this race. We only got internals. So it's kind of leaving us in the dark here of this potential competitive Senate race. But I'd give him about a 20% shot at winning here. He could very well could pull it off. He's a pretty good candidate. He's running a stellar campaign, but this is where I would think the race would probably be. I think he probably ends up winning about these 5 counties right here, but even that is not enough in some of these shifters. So he's going to have to get the margins down everywhere in the state to have a real shot. But as of right now, he's a 20% chance at winning. Anyway, if you're new to this channel, I'd highly recommend subscribing. You enjoy content like this. Other than that, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one. Bye.